Nsem-Pii TV nie.
The new patriotic party continues to take the lead. Yes, with policies, bold solutions, alternatives, and good communication with regards to amanfo aye adwene say omo pese omo tie nkomodidi a ekoso in the political arena na amomo make an informed decision when December 7th finally arrives by the good grace of God. Now, as I say, from the NPP headquarters, and Akrata, Efriho, Ababe Tuja, Trotro for Penny, the main NPP, the General Secretary, Lawyer Justin Kodia Frimpong. Yes, Menshade Shukron, Nisa Shasia, Omagana Fonina, and Yanan the way forward for the new patriotic party. And the Swadi Hunom Wamagana, and in Commodity on Person Gani, you know, the next move, and I say 18th August, because here they are now, 18th August. In the western region of Ghana, Takrade. Yes, in China, western region, one another Kufodu, Eco Commission, a Danya, wasi Ediama Ghana National Petroleum Commission, GMPC, our share home 2016. Yes, or Demo pledge, a multi-million-dollar building. Yes, I know, all oil transactions, once Yabekano. Now, Takrade, Jumedi, because 18th August, the new patriotic party manifesto launch. New patriotic party manifesto launch. Yes. We beto Ghana phobia. Also me neutral say NDC for akoyi omo flag bearer over 1 year ago. Chei and some more campaign from kwakwa launch. And no kurano initially omo yesi kumasi no ba launch no. Omo hu de ba omia year on other region omo sasa na de call tamale die ankosiaga ankoyi omo campaign launch. No omo hye senke no so no on back lunch, just a whole lot of decisions are taken on shada NTS and they compare NPP November 4, 2023 in the Baumia. And Chibian was a copy of UPSC, our launch in a campaign, and in the Pambon campaign team Swababi Tuja, CCA or Sanso Eddie a venue for the manifesto launch about Tuja. Dear John Dramani Mahame. Well, Baumia continues to take the lead. See 18th August on the MPP and when you could no ekukudai e de omoni kwa kopiemu ewo Takrade na manifesto committee no omudin ababe todwa yebobodin ama etifo atibi na sansem yemu na the honorable Kennedy Ohene Japan compare kon Japan ono so di na no atomo na osi manifesto lanji anase NPP nsemo amokwa akodi no kwa akodi on the Hoba Jimmy giddy. The entire Hojima or say we are all not going to sit back. We will support Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, the NPP flag bearer, to win because the NDC is never an option. The NPP has not got all right, but the NPP has done better. This is Kennedy Ohene Japan response to campaign team launch. Say enya dia omo eba betina honom ayenhwe han say Dr. Mahmoud Baumia nko an nko launch campaign omo nyina eni ntine nko na mo platinum omo ekwa akodi akire sisi NDC fo hu omo left and right Baumia take step ansa no omo so afolo no they are going to make sure they do proper communication amagana fo hu no to make the papa abanyedi. Now there is the new patriotic party's official letter regarding campaign launch and committee members. Now say the new patriotic party is pleased to announce to the public the launch of its 2024 manifesto, which is scheduled to take place on Sunday, August 18, 2024 at Takrade in the Western region. In line with the above, the party has constituted the following 11-member committee to oversee the planning and execution of the event. The committee members no chairperson Madam Oboshi Sai Kofi. Afi Mr. Henry Nanabuache, our national organizer no or member. Mrs. Abna Asante, secretary. Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, member. Honorable Fatimatu Hajia Abubakar, member. Dr. Antoinette Chibo Dakon, member. Mame Kate Jenfua, member. Mr. Indede Sia, member. Mr. Dennis Miracles Abwaje, member. Honorable Anthony Abaifa Kabo, member. And Afiso Al-Hajj Haruna Mohammed. So these are the 11 strong people. I power said the manifesto launch come August 18th. Takrade. Yes, and Nsem Kotuakra. Now, Dennis Miracles Abwaje has been speaking a lot about this and many other issues. Yentie Nsemwa, Dr. Mondomia's campaign communications director, or the Atuja.
Also debatable because there are so many infrastructural projects that have been assigned to him that were actually not done by him. But simply because he was a guy that was handed over to, they received the handing over notes. Let me put it that way, by the colonial masters. And so you hear people even give him projects that were not done by him, but done by the colonial leadership at the time. Allow us to have this conversation. If we don't have this conversation dispassionately and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, 100 years from now, history will be distorted. 100 years from now, nobody will be talking about some of these things, and our great-grandchildren after us will be talking about things that never happened, and that will be sad and painful to those who lost their lives. If anybody lost their lives or lost their generations or properties through the struggle, that person's only glory and appreciation wherever he is the fact that his name is never forgotten. But how do we put all of these things on one person's head and say that we shouldn't talk about all the other people except for one person? That's completely unfair.
Okay, so that's completely unfair, and that's where we'll end this part of the conversation. And Anna, we are going into the other part of the conversation for which Dennis is here. Let me start as is become the tradition now, and then I'll rope in Nanaya. But Miracle, so Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia just yesterday was in a Sojaman constituency, and I think he went also to Yilo Krobo and what have you. Some people are saying that the sitting vice president is working as if he's in opposition.
Absolutely.
Hey, same way as a lot of other programming languages.
We end the day deep into the night, and by 6 a.m. he is awake and ready. We've never had a cause to be seated and be waiting for him. Actually, what happened is that we would rather always be rushing to catch up because he's ready. And it's born out of one thing. He says that what we are trying to achieve this year.
And welcome back to this U.S. Open office plan.
Miller just lobbed a message way over Jones's head using some technical jargon.
To be able to achieve what we've set, the goals we've set for ourselves.
Alright then, so let's start by making that's because inside these packages, to export something, you have to use a capital for whatever you're exporting. So this one is called Print Learn Up.
With the World Bank and secured a $100 million loan to take care of 48 districts in the northern part of Ghana. And so far, it's delivered 524 physical infrastructure projects, roads, hospitals, educational infrastructure, markets, and as we speak, procurement is underway for another 1,200 physical infrastructure for the northern part of Ghana. That is the fiscal part. In the same $100 million SOCO project, you have a local economic development component of it, which is providing specific intervention for our women and our men who are into trade and small-scale businesses in the north, giving them capital injection and capital support to be able to shore up their businesses. So the people are looking at all of this and saying, we have one shot, just one time, one shot to make a president that will make all of us proud. We should give it to Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia simply for what he has shown as a vice president, as against former President Mahama, and what he did as president. And the other motivation also is that, first think about it. If you are coming from the north, you are making this decision. Wouldn't you rather have two presidents coming from your area than to have one? So some of them also say, well, you have been president before. Let's make Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia also president. So that in our lifetime, we see two living former president or president in our area. So there's so many things working.
Added to Liman. Liman was also from the north.
Yes. So I mean living.
Okay.
Two living. Right. Two living. And then, the members of parliament also come to play. So you have some of the members of parliament from the NDC side who for so many years have been very complacent. So they've lived under the impression that as for the northern part of Ghana, they are NDC. They are a stronghold. And they've taken the people for granted for so long. And so you have an MP whose entire 4-year tenure, all he's done for the people is to give them a shed and 10 plastic chairs the entire period. And the people are now looking at it and say, wow, we recently made, an MP for Kraga. And look at what he's doing. Habib is barely 4 years in parliament. And look at him. Look at what Abu Jinapo is doing in parliament. Okay, why don't we give our MPs, our parliamentary candidate from the MPP side, an opportunity this time also? And so a lot of their constituencies are looking at the work that the MPP MPs who came in recently are doing in the areas. And they're also beginning to reconsider and rethink and say, this time round, maybe we should give our MPP MPs the opportunity to go represent us, simply because of what we are seeing the MPP MPs who are currently leading some other constituencies are doing. And what Bafos I can tell you, I'll be here. On the 7th of December, I'll spend almost half of my day here. And on the 8th of December, when by then we would have finished with the counting for parliamentary elections, I will be here. I can tell you without any shadow of doubt that the MPP is going to lead in the number of seats we win in the Northeast region, Upper East region, Upper West region, Northern and Savannah region. MPP MPs will lead in each of these regions. Simply because the little that they have given us, our members of parliament have shown a very positive scorecard, and the other constituencies have picked the cue from there.
Today, somebody was on the show from Tamale, is it Bible?
Bible,
was
yes.
talking about his motorbike.
His motorbike
from Amin Adam. Okay, so Nana is going to come in with a question. There are several things to talk about. So the Vice President has been talking about jobs. You have been dealing with this issue of Ejapadie book that has come up. I think you were dealing with it on your program last night. Yes, so we'll get to talk about it. The Vice President has been talking about jobs and in the digitalization space. He's also been talking about the fact that he's going to put up a spirited campaign. And so that will be my last for this session as Nanaya comes in. Is the promise of a spirited campaign by Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia ongoing?
But you can see it. I mean, that was the very first question you asked. When in your lifetime in our democracy have you seen an incumbent presidential candidate run the kind of campaign Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is doing? He's campaigned even more than his opponent. In our experience, we see the opposition party working so hard, but in this case, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has done a lot more work than his opponent. He's covered more space, he's covered more grounds, he's had a lot more conversation than the opposition leader. And this is somebody that was elected barely 8 months ago, as against the opposition leader that was elected some 14 to 16 months ago and has been an opposition leader for about 8 years. It tells you the kind of mood and spirit Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is in. He believes that the people must have a reason to vote. He's quite confident that he's a better candidate than former President Mahama. No doubt about that. His credibility is higher. His competency is higher. His commitment to the Ghana cause is higher. His belief in the fact that we can achieve so many things is higher. There are so many things that you hear the former president say it's not possible. We cannot do. We are not there yet. But you hear Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia say we can do it. And he shows working. He gives you evidence of things that former President Mahama says we could not do, which we have done. And that inspires the citizenry. That is what is spurring everybody on to aspire for greater things. That if we have a leader like this in him, then we cannot be whatever.
Nsem-Pii wɔ hɔ more na nsɛm so wɔ hɔ nti sɛ wotie na wohwɛ ɔmo YouTube channel.
Be the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.